What's good, fam? What's up, fam? Teacher Ready here with another reaction. No, I'm not here with a reaction. I'm actually here with little gameplay. So I'm going to be playing MLB The Show 21, and I'm going to be playing with my all-time Yankee team, right? So I went ahead and created in Legends a whole ass Yankee team, and the team is comprised of well, number one, what's available, right? Uh, and as far as MLB The Show 21 goes, the only tough part that I had was actually with the shortstop because Derek Jeter wasn't in the game. So I had to go and create my own shortstop, but hey, it worked, right? So what I did was I created Derek Jeter, and then it took a long ass time for me to actually get him to look like Derek Jeter. And then for third base, there was nobody in the game available. For third base. So I had to think, man, who am I going to put at third base? Yeah, so I created Alex Rodriguez, and I know for a lot of people, they're going to be like, man, you created Alex Rodriguez for real, for real? Yeah, I created Alex Rodriguez. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a game, and I'm just waiting for my Xbox shit to load up here. Some reason being a bit of a bitch right now. So what I'm gonna do actually is restart it. This is what happens when you go live, fam. Sometimes shit don't there we go. That should be working. Alright, so let's connect back. There we go. We should be good now. And there we go. All right, so yeah, sign me in as teacher ready. So basically, I'm going to walk you through my team, what I did, and then I'm going to play a game, and, you know, it is what it is. So just give me 1 second. I apologize again for the delay here. All right, so this way we got the game in full screen. So, oh, and now my controller doesn't want to work. See, it's what happens, man. All right. Usually if I start a game and then go back, hopefully that'll work. Yeah, they don't have well, they have Didi, but they have like modern day Didi, who is not really good at all. But yeah, they don't have Rizzuto, they don't have Jeter. But my favorite part is for like the records. You know, like they have, you know, Hank Aaron, all-time home run record. Uh, but then when it has the single season record, it just says San Francisco 73 because they can't even use Barry Bonds' name. And it's the same thing, of course, for the all-time hits. It just says Cincinnati Reds. That's it. Because they can't even drop Pete Rose's name in that shit, man. It's kind of fucked up, yeah. But there are a bunch of legends that are missing in the game. Motherfuck, man. This is really, really getting annoying. I'm logged in as myself. It was just working before. There we go. Hopefully that helped. But yeah, there's a few legends missing in the game. Also, they don't have Yogi Berra at catcher, but they did have Jorge Posada, so yeah, I'd probably go with Posada anyway. but obviously doing really well with the team. Babe Ruth, of course, is leading the league in home runs. Lou Gehrig, close second. Gehrig is actually leading the league in RBIs. Pretty much everybody's batting over 300 except for Reggie Jackson and Jorge.
What's up? This is Mark DeRosa. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, this is going to be... I don't understand why this whole thing is being a bitch right now. It's working on the Xbox itself, but for some reason... Okay. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, this is why I prefer PS4. I just have to get this game for the PS4. That's why I have. So let's go to my franchise. Finally! All it took was like 7 minutes and 40 seconds. Alright, so... what was my next game gonna be? Oh yeah, I was gonna play against Boston. So it didn't save my last save. Great. So I'm just gonna sim through these dates. Man, don't be hating on the PlayStation, man. Xbox is for Jakob. PlayStation's for me. Alright, so I was gonna do Boston. Yeah, because you gotta do, right? So my Yankees are 92 and 27. Boston's 46 and 75, as it should be. So this game, Whitey Ford, the chairman of the board, baby, versus Kerry Wood. So there are legends turned on in this game. So all the lineups are whatever they are because we had a draft. But like Jackie Robinson's in the game, Brooks Robinson, pretty much everyone you can think of, with a bunch of exceptions. So I'm going to play this game.
The Marlins right fielder, number 22.
Full game. Let me go with the throwback. Let's 1913. Or should we go 73? I like the 1913 look, man. I'm going to go with that. We're playing at Yankee Stadium. We're going to do MLB Network. Well, I don't want no rain, man. Fuck off with the rain. Partly cloudy. That's good enough. Whitey Ford is starting. And here's my lineup. Derek Jeter, Alfonso Soriano at second. Babe Ruth, of course, batting third. Gehrig at first base, batting fourth. Mantle fifth. A-Rod batting sixth. Reggie Jackson batting seventh. Donnie Baseball at DH, batting eighth, and Jorge Posada at catcher. So, that's the lineup. So, as you can see, yeah, Alfonso, Reggie, Mattingly, Posada are the only ones hitting. I mean, Mattingly's at 299, so, again, everyone's doing fairly well, what you'd expect. I think Ruth has over 50 home runs at this point. Over 100 RBIs, batting 347. Gehrig batting 342. Jeets at 334. Alfonso, definitely one of my favorites. Had a much better season last year, though. Last year, Alfonso batted 330 with 52 home runs and 130 RBIs. This season, not so much. But we're at home, so there we go. Whitey Ford. Whitey's doing well. 13 wins, 7 losses, 3.91 ERA. Whip at 130, 134 strikeouts. Pretty good. Torrey Hunter. Yeah, I remember Torrey Hunter. Torrey still play? I don't remember. So they're suggesting I go with the fastball. Why not? Let's paint the bottom corner here. Yeah, take that strike, bitch. Alright, another fastball. I'm going to go with the curve, man. Let's hit him with the curve. Didn't fall for it. Alright, alright. I will say the likenesses are kind of hit or miss in this game. Like Ruth, you could definitely tell. There we go, Jeets. There we go, Jeeta. Don't come with that weak shit, Tory Hunter. But it is hit or miss. Like Alfonso Soriano, for example, they did Alfonso wrong, man. Fonzie looks awful in this game. Fastball down and in, sure. Larry Walker, man, Larry Walker. I think he made it into the Hall of Fame this year, right? But I don't know, man. When I was looking at Larry Walker's stats, I was like, is Larry Walker really a Hall of Famer? I don't know, man. I don't think so. Especially playing all those years at Coors Field. Let's go with the slider. Down and away. Playing all those years at Coors Field, man, I don't know. There you go. Took that shit looking, man. There you go. That's right. Walk away. Walk away. Who we got next? Minnie Minoso. Wait, you got Minnie Minoso batting third? All right. Hey, it's your team, man. So we're going with the sinker. Down and away. Slider down and then, yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, sure, why not? Like Frank Pentangeli in Godfather 2. Oh, goddamn. I shouldn't have won with that suggested pitch, man. Look at that. Ruth is like, what the fuck, man? Did you just give a home run up to Minoso? Yes, I did, man. Man, fuck your suggested pitches. I'm gonna do it my way. Right? Fitting, because Whitey Ford was known as the chairman of the board on those 50s Yankees. When you had, obviously, Mickey Mantle, Roger Maris, Yogi was on the team, of course. But Whitey was known as the chairman of the board, man. He's the one who kept everybody in check. And undoubtedly, I would say the greatest Yankee pitcher. I mean, I don't even think it's a contest as to who the greatest Yankee pitcher is. Gotta be Whitey Ford. Right. Off speed down and in. Canerco. Gonna go with the change. High and tight. There we go. Take that shit looking again. That's right. Walk away, Kaneko. Fucking Minnie Minoso. Whatever. Anyway, of course, leading off, I got Jeets. Oh, yeah, it's Kerry Wood. Not doing too well. 6 and 10, 4.88 ERA. Obviously, a lot of strikeouts, though. But let's get this shit started. There we go. The last Yankee captain there. 37 home runs, 86 RBIs. And he was on the All-Star team, of course. Because I created him in the game for this season, he's considered a rookie.
And now the first pitch.
Ooh.
Guys, this Red Sox ball.
Got that sliding curve, huh, son? All right. Let's go to right, shall we?
Yeah, Matty, it was an up and down homestand, 5 and 4.
Ah.
Left on a winning
Fastball.
They got
And
tarmac to get on the plane, feeling pretty good about
probably try to go with the same thing.
first game of this road trip.
Down and away.
Smack 'em in the mouth, right?
Ah, you fuck. I knew it. Should have went down. That's what she said.
Keep a guy that has good wheels.
That's all right. Fonzie.
What they did right there.
29 homers, 86 RBIs, 268 average. You know, not bad. Try to go high and away.
Swing and a liner.
And there we go.
Into the outfield.
Stay at first. Stay at first. There we go. We got a base hit.
He was able to recognize that.
All right, got a man on, and of course, the Bambino coming up. 53 home runs, 135 ribbies, and a 347 batting average. If those ain't MVP numbers, I don't know what the fuck is. I don't know if he'll break the record this year for most homers, but we'll see.
This guy's done that. He's driven in several in the last 10 games. Wheels and deals
Oh, going for the pitch out, huh? Don't worry, I ain't stealing shit. I don't need to steal, man. Oh, wow, that was a delay. my fucking screen froze for like a split second there. Yeah, that was way late. That was a good goddamn pitch, too.
He's building a brand for himself, and you don't have to be Babe Ruth for this to be impressive. He's proved his tremendous talent by taking the two-way role.
Yo, what's up, Arcade? Nothing. Just playing a little baseball here.
1-2. And it's fouled away.
Got my all-time Yankee roster. Got Babe up. Alfonso Soriano's on first. 1 out. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And come on. Go for third. Go for third. You can make it. There we go. Extra bases. Nice. What the fuck? Why did you not go for third? Oh my god. Wow. I hit the button to go to third. Why did Fonzie go back to second? What kind of bullshit was that? Oh, goddamn. Anyway, Gehrig.
This lineup leads the league in home runs, and that's why people pay the price of admission. They want to see the
There we go. All right, now go for home. Yes, thank you. Jesus. Could have been 2 runs right there. Could always count on the Iron Horse. Lou Gehrig, of course. You know, I think it's up for debate. Who we got next? Okay, Mickey Mantle's up. Got the Mick up. You know, it's up for debate, like, you know, who's the greatest second baseman, third baseman. Let's see, Mantle's batting .312, 39 home runs, 97 ribbies. Obviously, what you expect from somebody of Mickey Mantle's caliber.
now the 0-1 from Wood.
Too early. But, yeah, so as I was saying, I mean, it's debatable, right? Who's the greatest third baseman? Although, you know, I mean, third base, you know, it's hard to argue against Mike Schmidt, right? But the point is, I don't really think there's a debate when it comes to the greatest first baseman ever, at least in my opinion. It's Lou Gehrig. I mean, there's no greater first baseman than Lou Gehrig, in my opinion. All right, high, deep, deep enough, deep enough. There we go. Mickey Mantle, home run number 40. Lou Gehrig, ironically, didn't die of Lou Gehrig's disease. Well, technically, he didn't. Everyone else after him did, though. All right, A-Rod, 325. 41 home runs, 97 RBI. I mean, say what you will about A-Rod. I mean, giant asshole. But, oh, that's going to hook. Ah, fuck. That hooked. Too early. But still one of the greatest players of all time. You gotta separate, you know, sometimes you gotta separate the man from what they do. Whether it's movie stars, athletes. Going the other way. Caught. Alright, not bad, not bad. Put up 3 runs. Can't complain. What's up, Cody? Love all the videos. I love you too. Bill Mazeroski. Very fitting. But Gehrig, I mean, it's just such a sad... Oh, fuck, come on. Whitey, what are you doing? Jesus. Talk about miscommunication. It's like the CPU purposefully tries to fuck me up. It was like that bullshit with Fonzie not going to third. Same with Jeter. Knew someone who met Jeter, and he was just a bad guy to talk to. I've heard the complete opposite. You got to understand that famous people are human, and they have bad days. You know, I've met a good number of celebrities in my time, and some people, you know, it depends on. Hey, you catch me on a bad day, you may go like, "Oh man, what a fucking asshole that Teacher Eddie guy is." You know, everybody's got, everybody's human. We have our good days, good moments, bad moments. You just also have to understand that these are people, especially the caliber of somebody of Jeter, who is probably, you know, one of the, if not most beloved and famous person in New York City at the time. Could you imagine how many people try to talk to him on a daily basis? Um, so there are some times you just get annoyed. I mean, shit happens. I met Jeter a few times, and I mean, just super nice guy. Um, I will tell you, someone who I met who was an asshole was Mark Messier. Actually, Messier was a fucking douchebag. But again, I can't say that he's a douchebag. It's just in that time, in that moment, when I met him, he was a bit of a douchebag. But to be honest with you, I wasn't a fan anyway. I was there because a friend of mine was a big fan. And so, yeah, so when Messier was acting kind of a dick, I was like, I don't fucking care, to be honest with you. Yeah, baby, baseball, but playing with the all-time Yankee great team that I put together. I got Whitey Ford pitching. Mickey Mantle slapped a 2-run home run in the first inning. Whitey striking these bitches out left and right. How many is that? I think that's 4 strikeouts already. Who we got next? Eric Gonzalez. All right. Whitey's going with the high heat. You know what? I'm gonna go with the slider down and in.
Or he was sitting off speed right there.
Foul that away. So we got no balls, which is fitting when it comes to Boston. Let me go with the curve. There we go. Struck out the side. Met Messier twice. Both times he was kind of dickish. Yeah, I forget when I met him, but it was definitely after '94. Well, like I said, I was never a big hockey fan, so I don't really care. What we got? We got Reggie Jackson. 33 homers, 77 RBIs, batting .279, which for Reggie Jackson, .279 is like batting .350.
I like it, but keeping the pressure on, building that lead, that's how you bury someone. Popped him up.
Fudge and crackers. Turned on that one too quick. What are your thoughts on Mike Trout? Well, Mike Trout is I remember when Mike Trout first came up. Who we got next? Oh, Don Mattingly. DH. DH and Mattingly. Mattingly, definitely not one of my favorite players, but before I get into that, Mike Trout reminded me a lot of Mickey Mantle, actually. Mattingly batting a shade under 300 there, but 30 home runs, 90 ribbies. And, oop. Rounded to second. All right, so I think Posada's up next, yeah. I mean, when you got an all-time team, unfortunately, someone like Posada does have to bat ninth. But Mike Trout, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, probably the greatest current baseball player. Definitely best 5-tool player. So yeah. Tim Salmon, honestly, I don't have much of an opinion on Tim Salmon. I'm just hacking at all the pitches. Fuck it. I should just start trying for home runs on everybody. Hey, oh, hey, he tried to die for that one. Come on, come on, come on, come on, Georgie. Oh, god damn it. Ah, you fucking slow bastard. I forgot how slow. I forgot how slow Posada was. I mean, he's a catcher, to be fair. Um, but speaking of Posada, one of my least favorite announcing things was Georgie Juiced one. Fucking hated that so much. Fucking Sterling. Georgie Juiced one. Well, yeah, I mean the core four, so to speak, right? Jeter, Posada, Mariano, but I mean, as much as I loved, Bernie Williams, um, what's his face, Paul O'Neill, Tino Martinez. Tino was definitely a favorite. Honestly, I was super pissed when they traded away Tino for Giambi. Like, I don't know. I was such a Tino Martinez fan, man. But Jeter was definitely for me. I honestly have not watched a Yankees game since Jeter retired because it's just so weird for me to not see Jeter at short. Last Yankee game I saw was Jeter's last game. That was the last Yankee game I ever watched, man. Um, but speaking of meeting, Yankees and all that stuff, Paul O'Neill was actually one of the nicest guys I've ever met. Um, I think it was in '97 and '98. I went to after the season was over, they would have the Yankee Fan Fest. I don't know if they still do that, but basically, like it's a convention type deal, like Comic Con and shit. And so I went there, and everybody was there: Jeter, Bernie Williams, Paul O'Neill, everybody. Strawberry was there. Tori was there, and then they had some of the older people there. Yogi was there. Who else? Who's the pitcher who pitched a perfect game in the 50? What was it? 50? I forget. 50 something World Series. Don. Fuck. What was his name? Um. God damn. How could I forget his name? Come on, somebody help me out in the chat. Don Lawson. Thank you. Don Lawson was there, and talk about Don Lawson. Talk about your assholes. Don Lawson was such a fucking douchebag. But before I get to that, because that's a story worth telling. But for some reason, Jake LaMotta was there too. Like they had some, sometimes like when you go to Comic Con and like you get a wrestler here and there. So I met Jake LaMotta. There you go, Jeter. Uh, so that was kind of funny. I got a Raging Bull poster signed. There you go, Jeter leading the league in hits. But Don Lawson. So, of course, the line for Jeter was the longest one. Uh, but oh yeah. So I went. I met Paul O'Neill, Darryl Strawberry. Who was the white boy pitcher they had? The one who threw the perfect game. Wells. Thank you, Jesus. God, I'm fucking blanking today, man. I didn't get any sleep. I did meet David Cohn as well too. Jeter, I met on the second day because there were a lot less people second day. But then I was standing around. It was like towards the end of the day, And I see in the booth like this old dude. And he looks like lonely as fuck, and there's nobody online to get this dude's autograph or take a picture with him. Nothing. And this was back in the day when you didn't have to pay like each individual for a picture or an autograph. You just paid the entry fee, and then that's it. You wait online and you meet everybody. You get their autographs on whatever you want. And now, like, you got to pay per person, per autograph. Well, like Ruth always said, everything I do is big. I either hit big or I miss big. But also, tough to concentrate when you're trying to talk and remember shit at the same time. So I see this poor old man sitting there and I feel terrible. I'm like, who the fuck is this old dude? And then I look over and on the top they have like, you know, the name thing where it says like who it is, and it says Don Larson. I'm like, holy shit, that's Don Larson? Like, how the fuck is nobody here but, you know, fucking millennials, right? So they had like a section there where you could go and get you know, like pictures, posters, baseballs, like if you didn't have something. So I went over and I got a picture of Larson throwing the final pitch in the World Series. You know, with the scoreboard behind him, with all the zeros, with the perfect game. And so I come back and still, he's just sitting there twiddling his thumbs. And I walk up and I'm like, oh, Mr. Larson, it's such an honor. Like, I can't believe, like, you know, there's nobody here. Like, you're fucking Don Larson. And he was like, he couldn't be bothered with anything I said. He was like, yeah, whatever, kid. You know, I was like, Jesus, like, I didn't want your fucking autograph in the first place, to be honest with you. It's just you're a legend and I'm trying to pay some respect here. And, you know, but in my head, right, I didn't say anything to him yet. But then, you know, because, you know, a lot of people there, obviously, they go there, they get autographs, and they would sell them and shit. Like, that's what my friend Dave was doing. That's why he was there. But, you know, if I'm getting somebody's autograph, it's because I want to. So I asked him, you know, could you sign it to Eddie? And then he gives me this whole fucking speech about how he can't personalize autographs because it goes against his contract. And this, I said, listen, Mr. Larson, all due respect, like, I just came over here because you're a legend and, like, there's literally nobody standing here to get your autograph. I don't need the whole fucking speech, old man. Like have a Werther's and, you know, calm your ass down, man. Have some butterscotch candy or something. You know, you had your moment of fame fucking 65 years ago. Like, nobody fucking remembers you. That's why there's no line here. Like, the fuck, man? Like, acting like you're too busy, right? Like, I can understand, like, with Jeter, there were like 5,000 people online to see him. But definitely, yeah, like Jimbo said about O'Neill, though. O'Neill was definitely a throwback Yankee. I never thought he fit in all that well with the squad personality-wise. Well, I mean, he definitely drove them. Like, O'Neill definitely makes your team better, but I could see how he could rub people the wrong way. But I do agree, personality-wise, but he was definitely like a Billy Martin type Yankee. Like he was gonna fit on one of those Billy Martin type teams. I could just imagine the fights between him and Martin, but they would have probably fucking loved each other. Except for that one bullshit home run in the first, Whitey's doing pretty good. Not gonna lie, your response made me laugh. Yeah. Also, I remember one time, again, like I said, it just could have been a bad day or whatever it was, right? I don't judge people on, you know, just a one-time interaction, but again, not something for myself or somebody I was a huge fan of, but Nathan Lane, when he was on Broadway. He was in doing that show, The Producers, with Matthew Broderick. And at the time, I was doing an internship off Broadway at the Circle in the Square Theater. And there was a one-man play going on there called Huey, which was about Huey Long. And it was a one-man play with Al Pacino. So I had an internship there because obviously it was Pacino. I didn't have to play it second. And so my friend wanted to meet him real bad. And so I brought him down. I think I told the story before. And then we were walking, and a buddy of mine was working on The Producers. He was in the wardrobe department. It is high, deep. Is it going to stay fair, though? There we go. Mantle, 2 home runs. So, yeah, the crazy governor of Louisiana. God, my fucking throat, man, since yesterday. So anyway, so we go down there. And so my friend Mike is like, oh, Nathan Lane's not here yet, but he's going to show up like any minute. So we went outside to have a smoke. And while we're waiting outside, he's like, oh, here comes Nathan. And who the fuck is batting? A-Rod? He's like, oh, here comes Nathan. And Nathan Lane kind of like nods at him. And he's like, oh, Mr. Lane, like, this is my friend, my friend Dave, right? And he's a big fan, this, that. And Nathan Lane kind of like pushes him aside and like just keeps on walking. And I was just kind of like, well, man, whatever, man. And Dave looked like, he looked like a chick who got stood up on prom. Like, I thought he was going to cry. And I was just basically like, man, only thing I liked you in was fucking Birdcage, to be honest with you. Otherwise, you're a pretty shitty fucking actor, to be honest with you. I don't even know what the fuck else you done. Oh, yeah, you did that voice in The Lion King. That's real tough. Did you know the song You Are My Sunshine is originally done? Yes, I do. That was actually a topic of conversation. That I had a couple of weeks ago, actually. But yeah, that's 100% true, yeah. Let's see, what inning are we on? Top of the 5th. Louisiana. Yeah, Huey Long is definitely an interesting character. Both for the play. There was one other person in the play. It was still considered a one-man play because the other character had just one scene with Pacino, and it was like 2 minutes. I don't remember the actor's name, but he played the white neighbor who was married to the black woman on the Jeffersons. And I always felt so bad for this guy because after the show was done, people would wait outside, obviously for Pacino to come out. So security would set up, like those police barricades into a square, and people would surround it. And then Pacino would come out and go, inside the square and just walk around. And he was the nicest guy, man. He stayed, and he always, after every show, signed autographs for people. Basically, until everybody got an autograph. Like, he wouldn't leave. Just the nicest guy. But I remember every time old boy from the Jeffersons would leave, like nobody would pay any attention, or like I just felt so terrible. But again, he was kind of a douchebag when I did like one time try to make him feel like, man, I just loved you, and he was like, I don't got time for this. Yeah, I was like, man, what, go fuck yourself, man. Like, that's why nobody likes you and nobody wants your fucking autograph. You probably couldn't even get a fucking nickel for that shit on eBay, man. The shipping would cost more than the autograph's worth. I'm gonna go with the curveball. If you could meet any person dead or alive, who would it be? That's a good question. That's a good question, but I'm not a huge fan of people in general. There are very few people that I enjoy hanging out with, especially in my advanced age. Somebody that I would want to hang out with is somebody who could drink, obviously. Somebody who has some good stories, and somebody who's mad chill. So that like negates a lot of people, especially creative types, because most of them are very depressed personalities. So somebody who could drink, somebody who has amazing stories, and somebody who'd be fun to hang out with. I gotta go with the one, the only. Woo! The nature boy, Ric Flair. I would love to hang out with Flair, man. Because that's, amazing stories. He's buying. And you're probably getting laid, man, because that's an awesome wingman to have. Doesn't get much better than that as far as I'm concerned, man. Hey, there we go. Oh, yes. Good job, Georgie. Georgie juiced one. Why am I not surprised you would choose a wrestling superstar? Well, it's not even like the wrestling part of it. It's like, I just want to hang out with somebody who's got some cool stories, somebody who's fun, and somebody who can drink. Right? I don't want to sit there and have, a boring ass conversation with, Abraham Lincoln. Like, I love Lincoln and everything, of course. He'd be on the list. Oh, shit, I didn't even notice. Ah, you fuck. See, Kobe, I don't know if I'd want to hang... Like, look, let's just be honest here. I know you're not supposed to speak ill of the dead, and look, Kobe's death was probably second to Robin Williams during my lifetime of deaths that, like, really hit me hard. Robin Williams is still one that truly bothers me for a number of reasons. But Kobe's death was just, Jacob and I were in tears, man. When we heard. But Kobe was a bit of a snitch bitch. Let me remove the bit part. Kobe was a big ass snitch, man. Like every time Kobe got caught, getting pussy on the side, he would always like sell somebody else out. I'm not even talking about the Colorado chick that accused him of rape. But I remember early on in his career, he got caught cheating, and he like sold out Shaq mad quick. He's like, man, Shaq gets pussy on the side too, and that's why Shaq and him had that beef. And Shaq wrote that song. He's like, Kobe, tell me how my ass tastes. He sold out Rick Fox. But then when he got caught up with that Colorado chick, and obviously his wife was pissed, he sold out I forget who it was. I think it was Gasol, if I'm not mistaken. And he's like, Paul Gasol, he gets pussy on the side too. And then, of course, she told Paul Gasol's wife, and Paul Gasol's wife was like, excuse me? So I would want to hang out with Kobe. Like, I would, like, yeah, I'd like to get his autograph maybe. And I respect the fuck out of Kobe, but I wouldn't want to hang out with Kobe because none of your secrets are safe around Kobe, man. Kind of like Michael Jordan. Like, I would never want to hang out with Michael Jordan, man. Because Michael Jordan is one of the most petty people on the face of this fucking earth. Like, that motherfucker would just be throwing shade at you. Like, you say the wrong thing around Jordan, he's going to remember that shit fucking 37 years from now. So, there are certain celebrities where it's best you don't meet them. Like the old saying goes, be careful about meeting your heroes. And also, like, maybe call it desensitized, call it being a New Yorker, but I never look up to celebrities like that, where I'm like, I don't get, like, starstruck and shit. There's only been a couple of times. One was when I met Mickey Mantle. Like, because, it's New York, it's the Yankees, it's Mantle. You're in the presence of a legend. Like, like for me, that was a big deal. And the second one was Muhammad Ali. Because Ali is like my Mount Rushmore of people that I aspire to and idolize are like Dr. King, Muhammad Ali, they're up there, right? So meeting Ali was just an fucking amazing person. Amazing. But I've met like a ton of celebrities where, it's just like whatever. Did you hear about Tom Brady giving the dude that got his 600th ball a Bitcoin? I read about it last night. Nope. What's Bitcoin at now? Last time I remembered, it was like at what, 35, 40,000?
Did a good job to shorten up and protect the plate, and he'll have another shot at it here.
Which makes me pissed because I sold, I had some, I mean, not a lot, but I had some Bitcoin, but I sold it when it was at like 6 or 7,000. I should have fucking held on to that shit.
Ready with another 0-2. Fouled off.
Come on, man. It's fucking Kenny Law. There we go. Oh, it's Minoso. Yeah, fuck you, man. That's for that solo home run you hit and fucked up my shutout.
And this is still a 4-1 ball game.
It's a pretty close game. Oh, who we got? Got a pitching change. John Gray. All right, John Gray. Let's see what you got. All right, the big Bambino. Man, Ruth has no ass in this game, apparently. Look at that ass, man. Man, stop me showing me Ruth's ass, man. Now I'm going to have to go back and look at, like, fucking footage of Ruth to see if his ass really looked like that. Look at that shit, man. That ain't right, man. I thought Ruth would have a more bulbous, backside. I am so late on these swings. I think because there's a delay between the Xbox and my PC. Usually I'm way more on point than that. There we go. I had to adjust for the delay. I gotta swing like a second earlier than I normally would. There we go. 54 home runs for the flat ass Babe.
Solo shot for Babe Ruth. Home run number 54 thus far as they stretch the lead to 5-1.
Yeah, and if you remember the previous pitch, he couldn't get.
They do have his swing down pretty good.
Well, there's nothing to be mad about anymore.
He had a bit more of a stride to his swing. Like he would start a little further in the batter's box, and then he would stride forward for the momentum.
Lou Gehrig. As he pops
Um,
foul behind
Great swing.
a hit
Ruth had an amazing swing,
farm.
but still my most favorite swing of all time, and I think a lot of people's.
Swing and a drop
Ooh, Gehrig. There we go. Ruth and Gehrig back to back.
way out of here.
It's gone.
Back
There we go. It was definitely Ken Griffey Jr. Junior Griffey was by far, for me during my lifetime, the greatest baseball player I ever saw play the game, man. Five tools, throwback player, no scandals. It's just
playing in this one.
the only heartbreaking thing for me was he was never a Yankee.
And D-Ro, what are your thoughts on what they're doing as a team so far?
Matty V, D-Ro, I don't know what you think, but this
Like that would have been a dream come through, especially after that '95 series.
to the heart of the plate, not using the
But I will say one thing.
hitters meeting. They focused on this stuff. They thought these guys could.
I touched on it in the beginning. I was never a fan of Don Mattingly. I know a lot of people love Donnie Baseball, and yes, he was one of the few Yankee captains. But at the time,
The left. And again, he's got him.
he also was the only Yankee captain to never win a World Series, a part of a Yankee dynasty of the 80s that never won a World Series. It was because they won a World Series in every decade from the 20s going forward,
Rodriguez as he rips
except for the 80s at the time, right? Now it's because they didn't win any World Series in the last decade, in the 2010s, because their last World Series was in 2009.
Two places at once.
But up until, then it was the 80s was like the only decade they never won a World Series in. And I just never liked Mattingly personally, especially after he stole that kid's popcorn during that game.
We've got a couple of guys on.
But I know there are a lot of supporters, a lot of people who love Mattingly.
left as he puts it
Just not one of them.
for the first out.
Never a fan of him and his fucking mustache. Then it was the 80s, everybody had that Tom Selleck fucking mess. Look at that mustache, man.
Forward now
They did capture his likeness very well, though. I will give him that.
for him here tonight.
Definitely looks like Matting.
At this point.
But I put him on my team because,
First pitch of the AB now.
I mean, look, I don't like the guy, but
Bronco has
you got to respect the game, right?
but this will land untouched.
But definitely not a fan of Mattingly. Be honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of Reggie Jackson either. But I don't really consider Jackson to be
Is there? Two down.
a Yankee. Oh, well, neither did he, because he was inducted as an A, right? I believe he was inducted as
Yankee sixth.
an A, which I remember at the time there was a big when he was inducted into the Hall of Fame. I remember they were like, "Oh, is he going to go in as a Yankee or as an Oakland A?" I was like, "Of course he's going to go in as an A. He's not going to go in as a fucking Yankee."
And no trouble.
Man, way to waste all those men on base.
Inning. On 4 base hits, no errors, and a couple of men left on.
I remember Paul Konerko.
Paul Konerko due up
I used to draft Paul Konerko pretty much every year for my fantasy team.
part of the lineup that can get something going.
Yeah, only one run on the board so far for them. They just haven't had consistently good at bats.
But definitely my favorite all-time Yankee would probably be Lou Gehrig. I mean, Ruth is Ruth, right? But I'm a huge fan of sports history, as you can probably tell. History teacher Eddie over here. It's not just history that I enjoy, but I enjoy music history, sports history, all that stuff. But specifically, I mean baseball history, because baseball history is so tied, especially to American history, of course. So, for example, whenever I teach religion, I actually use baseball as kind of a guiding post to teaching religion. When we tackle the question of what makes religion a religion, right? So my example is always imagine if somebody, an alien comes to this planet and you have to explain to them what is religion and how is religion different from, say, the game of baseball, right? So that's a conversation starter because you may think, well, of course, it's so different, but really it's not when you start to think about it, because baseball stadiums are literally referred to as cathedrals. There are legends, there are gods, right? In the case of Yankee Stadium, there's a whole monument and tribute to the gods of the past, right, in Monument Park. There are officials, right, who oversee the rules, the umpires. There's a list of commandments, right, what's allowed, what's not allowed. And so on and on and on, right? And so the one that the students come up with most often is, well, is faith, blind faith. I said, well, you want to talk about blind faith? Up until that point, I was like, talk to Cubs fans about blind faith, right? Until, but before they won the World Series, right? Cubs have been going on blind faith for over 100 years. So then the second answer usually they'll give is sacrifice, that people are willing to die for their religions. I was like, you know how many people back in the day would have died for the Boston Red Sox to finally win a World Series? You know how many Bostonians would have fucking gladly laid down their lives if it was guaranteed that the Red Sox would win the World Series? So it's a very, very, it's a fun conversation to have, right? And like I said, whenever I teach, I always prefer to teach in a way that's relatable for the kids, like debate courses. Because they're still doing the same shit they were doing when I was a kid, which is the whole, should school uniforms be, a thing? Should school uniforms be mandatory in schools? Yes or no? That's the same fucking question they've been asking for the last, 50 years. So when I teach debate, it's usually, the most popular one is definitely, Marvel and DC characters, so we have all types of debates. But sometimes we'll do sports, but usually when we do sports, the kids are more into basketball than anything. But baseball, like I said, so for me, Lou Gehrig is definitely probably my most favorite player of all time. Just his integrity, the dedication, of course, but also the tragedy, right? But the strength in the face of that tragedy as well. That's if you would ever call an athlete a hero, definitely Gehrig. Do you think Joe Jackson was actually guilty? Oh, 100%. Joe Jackson himself admitted he was guilty. Just because they lost the confessions doesn't mean anything. They were all guilty, without a doubt. A lot of people, I did a whole video on it, if you haven't seen it. I did a video a couple of weeks ago on the Black Sox scandal. So you could check out the channel and get my full opinion on it. But at the end of the day, all the people who point to Joe Jackson's statistics to defend him, that he batted, 375 for the series. He hit the only home run in the series. Well, yeah, his statistics on offense definitely show that, no, of course he didn't cheat. But it was his defense. And that's what most of the Black Sox players at the time, that's really how they threw the games. It wasn't offense, it was defense, right? Not running as hard for the ball, right? Making silly throws, right? Throwing to, the cutoff man instead of directly, to the second baseman. And Jackson had plenty of errors. Anybody who says Jackson had no errors has no clue what the fuck they're talking about. Jackson had plenty of errors, and there were plenty of plays that weren't errors, but you could tell that Jackson wasn't trying his hardest, so to speak, right? That's why independent sports writers, because there were already whiffs of a scandal before the World Series even started, because a lot of money all of a sudden started coming in on Cincinnati, right? And nobody in their right minds thought Cincinnati would win. So rumors of a fix were already known. Just like, actually, if you're interested, the Black Sox were actually called the Black Sox way before the scandal. They weren't called the Black Sox because of the scandal. Does that got it? Nah, it's gonna make it to the warning track. Oh well. But because the owner of the Cubs, the owner of the Sox, Charlie Comiskey, he was such a cheap piece of shit that he would actually charge the players for cleaning their uniforms, and he was already paying them shit. So Comiskey, so the players said, you know what? We're just not going to wash our uniforms. How about that? And their uniforms got so disgustingly dirty and smelled so bad that they started being called the Black Sox, right? So they were called the Black Sox before the World Series in 1919. And so Comiskey eventually caved and said, don't worry, I'll take care of it. But then he took the money out of their World Series bonuses for cleaning of the uniforms. Oh, that was close. Kid Gleason, yeah. Kid Gleason, definitely. But, it's a pop-up. But the Black Sox, yeah, I mean, they were all guilty. There's no ifs, ands, or doubts, buts about it. Should Joe Jackson have... I mean, it's sad, but yeah. If you're gonna participate, I mean, you could have all the excuses you want as far as, we weren't paid well. Comiskey's an asshole. Oh yeah, Mantle's having a game. Mantle's in the zone. Another 2-run homer, homer 42. Mickey Mantle. Could you imagine being Mickey Mantle in New York City back in the 50s? God damn. Like, I know Jeter, right? Jeter was... But... Imagine being Mantle, though. God damn.
Told him when he woke up this morning that he was going to hit 3 home runs tonight. He would have thought he was dreaming. Well,
imagine being A-Rod. No, I'd rather not. What the fuck is this pitcher doing, man? Was he taking a dump on the mound? Ah, you fuck. Who's at first? Canerco? Yeah, you cocksucker. Person I'd like to meet is Jesse Owens. I mean, definitely, somebody who's extremely important to history. But like I said, there's very few people I'd like, because, I mean, who wouldn't want to, meet Abraham Lincoln or, people of that cow? But, like, really, after, like, the initial, like, hello, like, the fuck are you going to sit there and talk about, And plus, Lincoln will probably try to wrestle you and shit. And that motherfucker's got a better streak than The Undertaker.
That's popped up. Gehrig trying to get there. And this will not be caught. It's a foul ball.
Let's go with the curve. Yeah. I don't even have the sound on my end here. Whitey Ford, 13 strikeouts. That's what I'm talking about.
Column to look at is the one on the right side of your screen. Not too many hits to go around at this point in the ball game. Ready to deliver. Here comes the first pitch.
That's pretty cool.
Hit down the third baseline.
Ooh, A-Rod. All right, man. Now that's a play. Now that is a fucking play. Yeah. I don't think A-Rod could have done that shit in real life, though. Even in his prime. That's pretty cool. I got an uncle helped design and build the B-2 bomber. That's pretty cool. I think like one of the coolest people I ever met was a survivor from the USS Indianapolis. That was the ship that delivered the bomb that was eventually used in Hiroshima. And then after delivering the bomb, the vessel was struck by torpedoes by the Japanese. And there's a famous story about it, of course, and anybody who's seen Jaws and heard Quint give the Indianapolis speech knows it. But for those who don't know, after the vessel went down, it was several days before they were actually rescued. And the vast majority of the men aboard the Indianapolis died, and a lot of them died because they were attacked by sharks, tiger sharks specifically, lots of tiger sharks. But I met a survivor from the Indianapolis, and I mean, hearing about it and reading about it is one thing, but listening to him describe it, that shit brought me to tears, man. It's and this was, I want to say this was like around 2004, 2005. So we're talking like 60 years had passed. But I could see in his eyes and his face as he was telling the story, it was as if it just happened 5 minutes ago. Like the fear was just so palpable on his face. And of course, I mean, going through something like that, I just couldn't even imagine. And losing so many people. Oh, come on, drop. Ah, you fuck. I don't know what I'm complaining about. I'm winning 9-1. Ugh. I really hate this pitcher's fucking setup, man. That was late. Looks like it was early. Apparently it was very late. Jesus Christ. Enough with the fucking... I am so distracted by his setup. What's with the fucking dropping the deuce over here? Jesus.
Somebody's going to have to pull a trigger a little bit earlier in the count.
Lifted down the line in left.
Yes, a bit outside. Oh, Hamburger Hill. God damn, I haven't seen that movie in forever. I think that's going to be caught. Yep. Oh well. Von the Nut Guy. What's up, Von? What inning is it? It's the top of the 9th. Let's see, Whitey Ford, 90 pitches. Yeah, I think he can pull off the complete game.
Yeah, not a lot of
But just in case, let me warm up Goose Gossage. I'll warm up Gossage and Gehrig just in case. But I think Whitey Ford's got this.
And the pitch. Lifted down the line in left. And that will end up a foul ball.
I think if I was actually paying attention this whole time to the game, probably would have had 20 runs by now.
Into the windup, here comes the 0-1.
But I'm having a good time.
Big swing and a miss at the fastball.
I enjoyed talking with you guys, answering your questions,
locked in on the mound.
and talking about baseball and baseball history, which is probably one of my most favorite subjects to talk about. Come on, Jeter. Yeah. Jeets.
That's how the ninth inning gets underway.
Yeah, check out the Discord events, definitely, man.
Up next, Minnie Minoso. He launched one over.
You work every single day? You work 7 days a week? Fucking Minoso, you ain't getting another home run off me, cocksucker.
Yeah, that looked like an auto take right there, just trying to measure up this pitcher's stuff.
Now here's the pitch.
10 p.m. to 6 a.m. every day.
Pulls this one in the
Like, literally every day, 7 days a week? Because that would fucking suck.
way out there, and there are two away now.
Oof. Oof. All right, just one more out.
Red Sox down to their final out now, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Paul Konerko.
Going with the sinker down and in.
Here it comes. And he swings right over.
Swing and a strike.
In today's game, with velocity and exploding breakers
They're saying throw a sinker. I'm going to throw a curveball instead.
as a unit, they haven't been able to do
Oh.
that, swinging at way too many pitches.
There we go.
Behind 0-2 now.
Now I'm going to go with...
Now those that have stuck it out tonight.
I'm going to go with the slider high in it. Oof. All right.
Still 0-2.
Don't go high in it. Let's see. I'm going to go with the...
Last strike now for the
Blowing
Red
out.
Sox. And another foul ball.
Come on, you fuck. Just give up already, Kaneko. All right. Going with the high heat. Yeah, going with the mid heat.
Swing
There we go.
him out, and that'll do it here.
And that's the ball game. The Yankees win.
Pretty all the time, but just
Bah.
job done. Well,
Since the whole COVID thing sucks, I'm an assistant manager at a... Oh, okay.
9 innings, saving
That sucks.
10, and getting the win.
9-1 is the way.
All right.
it is. New York.
So let's see.
Leading the first and never looked back. Whitey Ford records his 14th.
Who do we got? Player of the game. Mickey Mantle, of course. 4 for 4. 3 home runs, 5 RBIs. Gehrig went 2 for 4 with a home run, 2 RBIs, 2 runs. Ruth 2 for 4 with a home run and RBI. And Derek Jeter 2 for 4, home run, RBI. Pretty good. Whitey Ford pitched a complete game, 14 strikeouts, no walks, only 1 earned run. So basically, yeah, well, 4 hits, yeah. But yeah, good game. I enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed that as well. Oof. So, fun story. I was going through YouTube one day. I came across one of your older videos. I'm like, this dude is hilarious. And then started checking out your stuff. My favorite videos of yours I've seen is the Ragnar versus Richard ERB. Yeah, that was a good one, man. That was actually the first ERB that I got to react to the day it came out, right? And I think they have another one coming out next month, if I'm not mistaken, right? November. Which is perfect timing because November is my birthday. Well, November is my birthday and Jacob's birthday. So our birthdays are coming up. Jacob's is first. His birthday's in 2 weeks. And then my birthday's at the end of the month. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. As always, appreciate it. Thank you to Cody. Thank you to John Alonzo. Thank you to my boy, my man, my love, my platonic love, Jimbo, Arcade, and everybody else. Thank you guys so much. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one, fam. Be easy, everybody.